I bring up a family that was down there in Springfield with us, lobbying the Neubeckers.
Promises are really important, and I'm glad you said that, Jim. Promises are really important. They're especially important to our kids. We became involved with going down to Springfield because our daughter wrote a letter that was published when she heard that gay marriage might be able to be legal. And I'd like to read a portion of that letter so that you understand why it's important to our family and to my daughter. Love is important. It doesn't matter who people love as long as they are happy. Everyone should have the right to marry who he or she wants. You may not like two men being married, but for them it's normal. Before I lived with my two dads, my life was horrible. My old family never treated me well. They wouldn't stand up for me. If my foster sister fought with me, my old mom would just sit there and watch me get hurt, so I would have to fight back. Each time I was at a foster home, the foster parents promised me they would keep me safe and treat me and my brother equally, but they always broke their promise. I moved 5 times, 5 traditional, opposite-sex married families, and none of them made promises to adopt them, and they didn't, and they moved on. I moved 5 times until my dad and daddy found me. They also promised they would always love me and keep me safe, and they would treat me equal to my brother. I was 4 when I met them, now I am 10, and they've kept their promises. As you can tell from our daughter's letter, promises are important.
I just wanted to add, once we realized the power of Brayden's message, we went down to Springfield back in March, and Brayden, at 10 years old, sat down with 20 House members, and she met face to face with those House members, and she shared her story, she shared her hugs, and yes, there were tears as well. We don't need their tears, we need their votes. We left Springfield very empowered. She was very excited over the possibility that our dads would get married. And when we got the message on Thursday that the vote was going to happen any minute, we dropped everything. We packed the car, which is hard to do quickly with a 9 and 10-year-old, and we drove down to Springfield. And we didn't even go to the hotel, we went straight to the Capitol. And we went up to the gallery, and we sat, and we waited. And we waited all Thursday night with our 2 children. Vote after vote, and nothing happened. And we went home exhausted that night, and the next morning we got up. Friday morning, breakfast, 9 a.m. We're told we have to be at the Capitol. It can happen any minute. We get to the gallery, and they told us, they said, you know, this is history in the making. We're going to take you to the speaker's private gallery seats. And the kids were just ecstatic over this. And we sat there, and in his box, you see face to face every House member who's taking a vote. And our children sat from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Quick bathroom breaks, quick snacks in the hall. They didn't want to miss the vote. And every single vote they took on parks, my son would say, "Are we next?" And I'd say, "No, sweetheart, be patient, it's coming soon." Then they would go to water reclamation. They would go on to amendments with the pension. They would go on to various resolutions. And every single time he asked me, he said, "Is it our time?" And I said, "Not yet." I said, "Be patient, they'll get to us." And then when Representative Harris got up at 7:30 at night, after telling our children this all day long, and looking face to face to every one of those representatives who knew it wasn't going to happen, we got up to leave with them, and my son grabbed me and he said, "We can't leave because they haven't voted for us." And I said, "We have to." And we walked out, and that night, both cried themselves to sleep. And my daughter, before she went to sleep, she made me and Lee promise. She said, please promise me that you're not going to break up. And I said, sweetheart, I said, just because we may not have marriage today doesn't make us any less of a family. And I said, we're going to continue fighting on this, and we are going to eventually win. And I want us as a community to hold every single member of the House accountable. They need to be standing publicly with us. If they can't do that, they're not with us. They're not with us.
Exactly.
We went to approach one person who had voted for same-sex civil unions in the past, but wasn't ready to support us. And we went to approach her with our daughter, and a staffer, again, the people running all the lobbying said, oh no, you don't need to go to her. Don't talk to her. We've offered to go out and meet. We've met with people, and it's important that everyone get their friends, their neighbors, their family members to call your reps and lobby them. It works better if people know the real people. Our daughter's been just a dynamo. She's gone into reps that have said no, and she's just asked, but why? And for a girl and a boy who's been in the foster system here in Illinois and had traditional homes that failed them, this is an injustice to them, and no one seems to care about them. And certainly having them wait and be told a promise to wait and then have everyone rise and even clap and applaud Greg Harris after his emotional speech, but not support our family or the call that all of us rose and we stood up. We said, cast a vote, give us a vote. And we weren't heard.
That's right.
We weren't heard.
We were not.
And if we don't all stand up, each and every one of us, and be seen and say, we need to be heard.
That's right.
It's not going to be given to us.
That's right.
The lobbyists make more money the longer it goes on. If it got resolved,
Cash cow.
it would continue. We got to do something. We got to outreach. We got to build our coalition. This isn't going to get done by sitting back and letting someone else do it.
That's right.
Thank you.